We are set to go, ladies and gentlemen, people around the world. Welcome to the show. Hey, that's right, baby. This is the weekly beer show. And today's episode, we're actually going to be doing a just one beer. So thanks a lot for hopping on. I appreciate you stopping by. Welcome to this episode of the Just One Beer Show. And what do we do here? Well, we go ahead and we just do one beer. I got a ton of shit to talk about. I got a ton of stuff going on. I wasn't able to squeeze a full show in today, guys. I apologize for that, but we still got a delicious beer to go ahead and review. We're going to go over some really cool, fun stuff. I'd love to hear from you, where you're at these days, what you're drinking. Welcome to the new year. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get right into this show. Hey, welcome. I am so pumped up, man. The Bills, baby, the Bills. Lot to digest, a lot that's going on. Damien, welcome to the show, my friend. Good to see you, Damien. How are you? Hope Happy New Year, guys. If this is your first time on the show, please, thanks for stopping by. Let me tell you a little bit about what we do here. We go ahead and we drink beer and we review it all throughout the while. We go ahead and I give you a little bit of information that went on, current news, this kind of stuff. Never political. Never political. We go ahead and we score the beer. We have fun segments like What Would You Rather? We do another one called What Are You Reading? What Are You Watching? What Are You Listening to? And all together is just a fun show centered around beer drinking and having fun from a regular guy. But on today's episode, we are doing just one beer show. So thanks for stopping by. This is your first time. If you're a regular audience member, you stop by for 5-10 minutes. Appreciate it. Twin, what's up, Brett? Good to see you, man. Sorry I missed you at home. The storm kind of screwed everything up. Looked like you were busy. My prayers and condolences out to you and your family again. I hope that you're doing well, Twin, and hope you're doing good. I miss you guys. And yes, Chris Duncan for number 3, TMD. Hey. All right, let's do it, guys. What a win today. Sorry I missed you when you're home. No problem. We'll get together soon. But actually, I do want to talk a little bit about that later in this just one beer. So, guys, like I said, we're not doing a full show today. We're going to do about 25 minutes to a half an hour of just one beer. We got a delicious beer, a fun beer that I can't wait to try. And let's go ahead and rip right into it. And then I want to talk about all the things that happened this week because it's been a crazy week. I'll say that. It's been a crazy as hell week. But let's get into this one. This one comes from me, from my Secret Santa. Shouts out to you, Ryan Giorgio. Hey. I appreciate it. My Secret Santa, I found out who it was. It was the girl that sits across from me and in the office. She was the one that went ahead and put the bottle of beer in the bread, which was a really cool, unique idea. I really love that. Definitely missed you too, Brett. But Secret Santa, if you don't know what it is, you basically pick names out of a hat at an office, work, friends, whatever, however you want to do it, family, and you pick it, and then you secretly drop off things that throughout the month leading up to Christmas, you can drop off things. We did it for 3 weeks in the office. I kept getting beer, and beer. So thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. Today's beer was one beer from her. So it is a bottle. So we're going to be going ahead and breaking out the old bottle opener. And today's beer is a fun one. It says, London will always be Young's. So today's beer comes to us from a London brewery, and it's called Young's, and it is the Double Chocolate Stout. Okay, look at that sucker. All right, bigger bottle. We got a full liter bottle. I don't know if you've ever had this particular brand, but Young's usually comes correct with all the beers. I haven't had this double chocolate stout, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't have my readers on, but the alcohol percentage is 5.2%, so it's not that strong, but if you're familiar with stouts, Guinness is probably the one that an average beer drinker can identify with the most. Now stouts have kind of taken over the last couple of years, just like IPAs and hazy IPAs did, where they're really getting creative. You got cannolis, you got chocolate cakes, you got apple pies, you got all kinds of basically, like a dessert stout. So this one is the Double Chocolate Stout. Damien had that a long time ago. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this one out, Damien. We got a stout glass. All right, look at this big guy. I love this glass. So let me go ahead and crack it open with our lucky can opener because we haven't done a bottle in quite some time. But let's go ahead and crack it, sniff it, taste it. All right, here we go. All right, so the notes coming out of this thing is a double chocolate. So it's really weird. I can smell some chocolate in there. I definitely smell that almost like a liquor flavor, or it's a really sweet flavored malt that comes off of a lot of the stouts, but definitely the most prominent smell. And I'm not going to go with the hard pour on this one, or maybe I will. I'll just go ahead and pour that in there. Let's take a look right there. Ooh, man, it's thick. It is looking creamy. All right, that looks like a thick chocolate stout as it should. And look at the color separation. I love the way that stouts look. I think they're probably the best looking poured beer. So that's pretty cool. Look at that thing. That thing is gorgeous looking. All right, all day, money long. Look at that thing. Really beautiful, really pretty beer. Stuck with a lot of foam in there. Hey, Baro from India. Welcome, my friend. Happy New Year. So, okay, let's go ahead and let this thing sit for, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. And then I'll go ahead and taste it. Like I said, the stouts have really gone creative over the last 5 years, where you can find a lot of coffee stuff, a lot of chocolate stuff. It's not usually the strongest beer, which is weird because a lot of people equivalent. Is that even a word, Danny? I don't know. I have no idea if that's even a word, so forgive me. You got it right into the show. I haven't had a sip of beer. You get a Dannyism. But basically, a lot of people equate dark beers to being stronger. This one is not that strong at 5.2%. But let's go ahead and whack it down, guys. Give it a taste. I'll let you know what I think and get to talking. Cheers, everybody. Okay. All right. Not bad. Not bad. One thing that I noticed right away about this beer is the pronounced flavor of malt. It's very sweet. It's got a bit of a tang to it. If you know what I mean, like a chocolate tang. It's not overly powerful chocolate flavored. And something being a double chocolate, I'd expect a little bit more. But to be honest with you, it's not filled with a lot of chocolate flavor. But nevertheless, not a bad first sip. Not a bad first sip at all. If you're just hopping on, this is what we're drinking. It is the Young's Double Chocolate Stout. Really good stuff. Really delicious first sip. And cheers to you. Hello, Damien. Hello, Baro. Cheers, everybody. Now that we're acquainted and we're ready to get in the show, let's get into it, guys. So I'm going to go back to what I want to talk about just because of the significance and the powerful, I guess, the power that came out of tragedy. And I don't know if you guys recognize what I'm wearing, what I talk about pretty much every week on the show, even if it's off season. What I love more than just about anything that isn't, in my control, and that is the Buffalo Bills. Okay. Love the Sabres as well. Home team, home football team. If you're not familiar with it, this is our logo. And last Monday night, if you haven't seen it, the scariest thing that I've seen on a playing field, and pretty much the scariest thing that any of us out there have seen, maybe, I remember when I was a kid, there was a goaltender in Buffalo named Clint Malarchuk who caught an ice skate across his throat and his jugular. And that was really scary because I was a kid, and two, it was very gory. He literally just fell to the ground face first on the ice, and there was blood everywhere. You can look it up on YouTube. Discretion, viewer discretion advised. His name is Clint Malarchuk. He's okay. They saved him. The guy that saved him, his name is Jim Fuzzelli, I think, the athletic trainer. Anyway, so what I go into is the Monday night football game against the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills. A player named Damar Hamlin. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been, but this is all over world news. He's number 3 on the Buffalo Bills. He's a safety. He's had an incredible season. Yeah, last Monday and the rest of the week, pretty somber one. Yeah, absolutely. Pretty crazy because Damar Hamlin was a good player. He was playing his butt off. He led the Buffalo. He was second in tackles in the Buffalo Bills up to Monday night. But what had happened is he tackled the guy in the first quarter, and he had a cardiac arrest. He had a heart attack on the field. He passed. He literally got up from the hit, got up, and then fell completely down. If you haven't seen it, once again, viewer discretion advised. And at the time of watching it, I really didn't know what was happening. I thought he was injured. I didn't see him. I saw him initially fall down, and I thought it was, like a reaction to like, oh, I just tackled you, and you ain't getting nowhere because a lot of defensive players are like that. And on the initial tackle, he looked like he made a clean tackle. It didn't look that bad. It wasn't like in the neck and the head area, if you see it. But he fell down, and then the training staff came out. I said, oh, man, it must be concussion. First thing come to my mind is Tua, when we played Tua, when he got up and was all wobbled and fell down. But during this time, he had a heart attack. And, he was carted off the field. They canceled the football game, which I've never seen. And nobody's ever really seen it that I can remember. But just a terrible, tragic incident. I mean, unbelievable that happened. He was rushed to the University of Cincinnati medical care unit and the hospital there. And, the whole nation was watching Monday Night Football. And they really... this young man, Damar Hamlin, was really flirting with death. And I'm going to try to get to this as best I can, but he's playing a sport that he loves. Here's a young kid that works his butt off for his dream, and he finally gets there. And he has this freakish accident happen to him, and he almost loses his life because of it. And luckily, the team of athletic trainers on the field, the lead guy named Denny Hamlin, or he's not the lead trainer, but he's an assistant trainer, was able to perform CPR. And I believe he was also the one who yelled over to the sideline to grab the defibrillator. And if you don't know what the defibrillator is, it's the little two things that they're electrically shocked and they put it on somebody, it revolts them. Just an amazing overall care and effort of these athletic trainers to go and save this man's life, essentially. He did CPR on him. I'm trying to go through everything because it's quite a lot. Go Bills. Yes, Dwayne. Yes, you know it. Hell yeah, go Buffalo, baby. And it's just so remarkable. In the next 2 days, it was like, man, everyone was glued to the radio, the internet, the TV to see how Damar Hamlin was doing. And when they were able to remove him, the breathing tube, and he started to come and back to consciousness, whatever, they were saying there was reports of, he asked the doctor when he first came to consciousness, like, who did we win? And he said, doctor said, yes, you won the game of life. It's just an overall amazing story of the athletic trainers saving his life. And here's the thing about, the athletic trainers, because we don't really ever see this throughout the week and whatever. They're always taking care of the players getting hurt before they go on and after the field and stuff like that. But they're also continuing their education. And these are things that they practice, I believe, before every game or practices and stuff. Because, look, I was listening to one guy say that, like, you were probably going to see an ACL. You're going to see something along the range, a knee injury per every game, sometimes multiple ones. You'll see ankles, you'll see things like that. But, we know how to pretty much handle that. But in order for them to use the defibrillator to bring somebody back out of cardiac arrest, you have to remove the shoulder pads, which you don't really practice, you don't really think about. But if you've ever seen shoulder pads before, they go over you and they come under here, and you have to be very careful, because if somebody's going through a cardiac arrest, just moving them slightly, or you don't know if they're had a something in their neck or in the stroke, especially playing football and determine the hits. So unbelievable athletic training staff over there with the Buffalo Bills. So proud of you guys. Absolutely love each and every one of you, although I don't know all of your names, and we really appreciate that. We're a small city, town, community in Buffalo who loves their football and hockey, and for the care that they took care of, they essentially, under a tragic moment like that, they saved Damar Hamlin's life. Then he was rushed by ambulance over to the University of Cincinnati. They canceled the game, and as of today, he was tweeting during the game. He's still hooked up to a breathing tube. They're doing all their due diligence in terms of like what happens after this. When you lose consciousness of breath, that means you lose oxygen to your brain. And, this is all in layman's terms. So one of the things that they were very concerned about was the motor functions and basically how he's neurologically intact. And from all points being good, it looks like, he's neurologically intact. Just amazing care, amazing treatment for him on the field and at the hospital. And I'm not even going to begin to tell you the amount of support that this young man has from not only the Buffalo community, but the entire United States, the entire world. Okay, here's a small little example just by measurement and numbers. Damar Hamlin comes from a really close family that works with kids. I believe his mother has a daycare or a kids facility in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So his charity, right? His charity was where he raised money for kids to give them toys and to give them a little bit of what they didn't have. So his goal was his GoFundMe page. That was his organization. It was giving back to kids. And I'm sorry, I don't know the name of it, but I'll go ahead and put it down in the description below. Everything's just kind of taken a whirlwind because I've had some other things going on in my life. But I'll put it all down in the description below. His goal was to raise $2,500. $2,500. Not a lot of money, but able to buy some toys for some kids. Now, the amount of support that this young man has gained because of the world rallying behind him to get better, because of the kind of person he was, the kind of dude he was, the way he treated people and what he was all about. His charity has raised over $9 million on his GoFundMe page. $9 million. It's a major impact. Damar Hamlin, it couldn't be more deserving of a person. And, it sucks that he got hurt in football, but the situation that has evolved with this, it was the first time in a very long time where I felt the love in the United States, that we were actually united, that we were all pulling for some common goal and some common thing, for Damar Hamlin to come out of, his state and be healthy and just show it. It's just an amazing feeling. It's so unfortunate that it happened. I don't want to be light of that, but it's such an amazing thing that happened to our Buffalo Bill player to come out of this, and the way that the United States, through athletics and through the people and the spirit of Americans and people around the world, pulled together. Why aren't we like this all the time? It's just amazing. Sorry, Danny, my battery is about to die. The problem is my mobile. No problem, Barrow. I hope you are doing well. Happy New Year. I will drink this Young's double stout and think of you, my friend. You are always present, and I can't say thank you enough. So, guys, I'm not going to keep going on and on about it, but I do want to say cheers to Damar Hamlin and the medical staff and each and every one of you guys who was put up prayers for him. It was so eerie in the beginning, and then it started coming around, and then you saw the real genuine spirit of people, and I still feel it in the air. It was such an awesome thing. And then the Bills came out, handled business. Imagine being another player. Imagine having to play through that. Obviously the game didn't continue afterwards, but just suiting up, knowing that happened to your teammate, it could happen to you. That's not something easy to deal with. It's happened to other players, paralyzations, things like that. So I guess in the circumstances that happened and the tragedy, the best thing that came out of it did. So cheers to that. Damar, keep getting healthy. We got your back here in Buffalo and all throughout the United States and the world. We are praying for a full, healthy recovery. And what a way to go, everybody. Cheers to that. Oh, that's refreshing. I never thought I would think that, but stouts are usually associated with being thick and associated with being like a after dinner kind of one-time shot. But this one is really light. It's clean. It's got a hint of chocolate, almost like milk chocolate as opposed to dark chocolate, where I feel like a lot of stouts are brewed in dark chocolate. We don't have our brewmaster Nate here, but this beer is pretty good. Young's, you can never go wrong with the Young's. They always got a good flavor. They've been doing it a long time. London's no stranger to beer. And this beer, it qualifies as a good one right off the cusp. So let's get into the next thing I want to talk about. If you remember last week, speaking of Buffalo Bills, holy cow, did we have an awesome time. Thank you, everyone. I want to go down the line. I want to say thank you to BC for opening his home and the arena once again for the annual neighborhood Edward 40 Hands. Okay, thank you to Matty Ice, who brought his Buffalo Bills bus, and really brought up the show a little bit with the theatrics of it all. I want to thank you to the newcomer, Josh Stone. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for being a part. We always love when neighborhoods get together. And thank you for the roast beef and subs afterwards. Thank you to Producer Joe, who handled the comments well, who handled the show. If you haven't seen it, it was last week. It was an absolute shit show. We taped 40 ounces of beer to each one of our hands. We do it every Christmas, and next year we're looking forward to an even funner one. And if you're interested and you're in the Kenmore area, please let me know at some point between now and next year, Christmas time, and I'll be sure to go ahead and include you. So amazing. Thank you, Producer Joe. And how about Silent, who takes the cake? He wins the prize. He won the bobblehead. Silent, what a great job. I wish you would say something, but you don't, so that's okay too. But you really slugged those 40s down. You went on like a real champ. And yeah, thank you. I will say, guys, it was like I said, it was a slobber knocker, especially when Nate got there and we had all the beer in. There was a lot of F-bombs being dropped. There was a lot of stuff being, yelled out. A lot of shenanigans going on. So if you watched last week's show, thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for checking it out. It got out of hand at some points, but not too bad. Nobody got injured. I hope that you enjoyed it. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. My good friend Aston, how the hell are you? Yes. Welcome. I haven't seen you in years. Good to see you here. Happy New Year. I hope you're doing well. Awesome. Really, really nice to see you. I love it when I haven't seen. Aston was one of the very few people to watch me in the very beginning of this show, maybe like 3 years ago when I was doing the beer show. So great. So great to see you. Yeah, thank you, Aston. Thanks for hopping by. I hope you're doing well. Geez, man, that was a long time ago, and I'm good to see you, man. Awesome. All right, yes, it was a mess, a blizzard, a mess. And we talked about the blizzard. That was an absolute disaster. But here's something that's really cool that I wanted to show you guys. So today at the game, Matty Ice drove the Buffalo Bills bus down to the game down there. I still call it Rich Stadium. Give me a shout out if you still call it Rich Stadium. I believe now it's called Highmark Stadium. It's where the Buffalo Bills play. But Matty Ice went down there with the Buffalo Bills bus that we did on the Edward 40 Hands episode. Him and his boys, and went there. They really showed up and showed out. Check it out, guys. He was caught on national TV. Him and his friends put this together. When people come together with all kinds of signs and fun stuff. Check this one out of Matty Ice and his friends. All right, boom, Hamlin. Okay, check that out. So you got the Hamlin for Damar Hamlin, but right here under the end, you can't really see my pointer here, but that is Matty Ice right there. You see Matty Ice, he's under the end. He's under the first angle of the end. You can see his hand is holding the bottom of the end. That right there is our very own, just another kid from Kenmore. I love it, Matty. Thank you so much. That is our own Matty Ice that appeared on the show and brought the Bills bus one more time. Just another kid from Kenmore out there representing. Look at how cool that is, man. That is so cool, Matty, that you guys were out there. And the cool thing about it is, look, I did movies, television, all that, fun stuff and entertainment and stuff like that. But like this kind of stuff, like when my boys show up on TV holding their sign, that's just really cool from the Bills Stadium. That's a memory that they'll always have. That's a great photo, Matty. That's a great experience. Thanks for going out there. I hope you had a great time. You're probably wind blasted, all that good stuff, and went offline for a while. Yeah, I know what you mean, Aston. I feel the same way. It's I'm edging towards that way. It's just like sometimes, you get it. It's Rich Stadium. I saw them. Oh, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome. Chris, that's great. So, Chris, were you at the game today? But you saw him. That's awesome, dude. Tenacious Freak said, got to check that out. Danny, been so busy, like missed out on it. But yeah, no problem. Tenacious Freak. I know how it is. If you get a chance, check it out. We upped it up your level. Maybe one day you can come on over and be part of the show. That would be awesome. Or we'll have to do a European edition because I would love to get back over there to Denmark. Tristan Men said sprinkler FE. Sprinkler FE. I don't know what that means. Saw him on TV. That's awesome. That's so cool, Chris. And that you remembered it. But here we are. I believe Aston is in England. Are you familiar with this Young's Double Chocolate Stout? This is what we're drinking tonight on the Just One Beer Show. It's a condensed show because I do have something I have to take care of, and I can't do the full run. So we cut out segments like what would you rather? We cut out, what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? So we cut out some stuff, but we're still having a beer, just enjoying ourselves. Scale back a little bit on the show as we go ahead and still bring you a fun episode. This is what we're drinking. It is fun. If you've never tried stouts, I definitely recommend you trying them out. That's a new one for me. You got to try this one out. It's pretty damn good. The double chocolate stout. It's not too pronounced chocolatey. It's not too strong. It's just right. And oftentimes I always suggest stouts to people and they don't really know what they are. And they tell them more like a black beer and they go, oh, strong. But this really isn't that strong of a beer. And it's not that strong, pungent taste like an IPA or a double IPA would be. It's just right on. It doesn't taste like your lagers. It doesn't taste like your pilsners. It's a little sweet. It's a little more maltier than those beers, but still a nice, refreshing try. Definitely change it up and see what they're all about from time to time. Okay, so this last week has been a crazy week for me, man. We had the blizzard, got stuck in Buffalo. It's very emotional for me to go home to Buffalo. I've been away from my family for about 24 or 26 years. I'd have to count, depending on where you're at. You count some of those years where you're in college. But I've been away from them for a long time. And every time I go home, it's also very emotional because it's emotion at the beginning. And anybody that's ever been away from their family, I don't care where you've been or where you've gone, and going home to your family, if you come from a good upbringing, you should have this feeling. There's a certain emotion that runs through you when you see your mom, dad, brothers, sisters, hometown friends, that kind of thing. And all within the same week, there's this buildup of like a year of getting to that point for me. Then I go home. It's like this explosion that goes off. Then you got to reel it back in because you're leaving again. And there's another reverse explosion because you're going to be leaving. Never gets easy. I know it's my choice. I choose here to live in Los Angeles. This is what I want to live. This is what I want to be doing in entertainment. But it's never easy. And wow, I caught you live. Yes, love it. Hi, Jamie. Good to see you. But yeah, it's always a quite a good experience. And then it's emotionally a little bit crazy. So we had the blizzard. We did that. We did that with 40 hands. We had the Damar Hamlin thing. And then I got to tell you guys, this is really, man, my really good friend, Drago Lazovic, passed away unexpectedly 2 days ago. And it's breaking me. It's really hurting. He was a really good guy to me. I guess best thing you could do when you talk about people is, talk about how you know him. I miss you, Eddie Drags. Very eccentric dude, actor, writer, director. He was like your quintessential disaster artist, right? Love you, brother. Here for you always. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Yeah, Pierre knows him. Pierre, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Dwayne Scott. So maybe I just talk to Pierre, and Pierre will be able to, I guess, elaborate a lot on this. But so I remember you talking about it. Yeah, I mean, Drago was a good dude, man. Like he was an eccentric guy. He was definitely like your disaster artist character. I'll never forget the times we had in the desert. Yeah, me and Drago and Pierre Islam, we all worked in China as actors, foreign actors. And if you don't know what that's like, it's a very different experience. Thank you, Damien. Hugs. Thank you, Jamie. Yes, you had an extra emotional visit. Yes, I did. It's been crazy. So yeah, Drago was a type of guy. He came from Los Angeles. Thank you, Tenacious Freak. He was in China, and us as foreign actors, Pierre was the very first foreign actor I met. Totally disaster artist. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. I will never forget this. I got called to a movie. And I was working. I was walking across this parking lot in China, and I was at Hengdian, and I seen Pierre, and I was like, hey, and he came over, and we introduced ourselves, and yes, in a funny ways, and ever since that, Pierre is one of the nicest, solid friends that I have to come out of this experience. Here's the thing with my friend Drago. Look, he lived the motto that I've been saying. If you ever watched any of my shows or you know me, I've always said these three things, and these three things are very simple. You can peel them off. It's something that you'd see maybe a Hallmark card, but I've kind of based my mantra and motto over it, and that is believe in yourself, work hard, and don't give up. And you can apply that to anything. You can apply that to anything in your lifestyle. And he was that exact mantra. He believed in himself like nobody I've ever seen, okay? Because he was in a world where over there, a lot of these guys and I worked with in China were not trained actors. They were not actors that moved to China to be actors. They were students studying Chinese. They went over there because they liked Chinese women. Maybe they met someone. Most of my friends were martial artists. And then this weird kind of explosion of like 10 years. I guess it's kind of maybe still going on. Pierre, you can maybe, elaborate that. It came where China was inviting more foreigners in their films. Well, instead of obviously they would bring superstar actors in like Matt Damon, piece of crap movie, John Cusack and Adrian Brody, things like this. They would bring these up. But all the other roles for foreigners were done by me and my friends. Yeah, they really were. They were done by me and my friends. Pierre still is over there. I worked with my friend Drago on, man, I don't know, probably half a dozen movies and TV shows. I'll never forget the time me and Drago worked on this weird Chinese TV show where he was a priest and I was a police officer. It was called Yo Chai, and he was preaching God to the Chinese people in the TV show, and they threw him out the window, and it was like on the second floor, and it was raining out, and me and him were doing this shoot. Yeah, he definitely had drive. He had dreams, and he loved working on China. Yeah, but Pierre is talking about right here. 30 times on Dragon Blade. Dragon Blade was the Jackie Chan movie that we all worked on. And that's where we really, he loved being on set. It was absolutely right. Yeah, he did. He really enjoyed being on that set like we all did, like that was the reason I moved to China, is to try to work with Jackie Chan. And when I met all of my friends, not only did I accomplish that, but I came away with so much more. And what I found was a guy like Drago, and we became friends over the years. The Dragon Blade was the one big movie where we were all working on it, and we all became friends. But here's the thing about Drago that I want to talk about is he believed in himself so much that he would come up with these web series, short films, full feature films, and he would find people to buy into it, and he would make them. He would literally make what everybody says they want to do in entertainment business. And a lot of people in our circles dogged him, called him shit. They weren't that really good. His acting was a little bit different. He just wasn't the type of guy that backed down from anybody. He took it, and I don't know how he dealt with it on his own, because people would go after him, and he would, he still found a way to create his dream, and he lived inside that box. And Pierre can attest to that. Wise Hit, yeah, Wise Hit is the web series that he's talking about. It was very low budget, and he loved it. Yeah, but we all loved it. Now when we look back, and I'm glad I was always a friend to him. Like we still kept in contact. Me and my other friend Tomer were always talking. And he's the type of guy that would like. He would say like hello to you, and then he would send you his pitch deck. And literally, this is what he said to me a few hours before he passed. He said, Danny, Happy New Year. I hope you're doing good. Blah, 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 blah. And he sent me his pitch deck. This was at 4:00 the day he passed away. I received this message. I returned back to him, hi, good to see you, Drago. Good Happy New Year to you and your family, all this and that. And then I read on Facebook, unfortunately, his passing. Nobody knew, because he had moved outside of China and moved over to Sydney. And he was over there doing short films and full features, and whether or not they were good or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because obviously everyone would like a superstar blockbuster, but frankly, everyone's not Martin Scorsese. But Drago did it. He said he was going to do it, and he did it. And you know what? I'm going to miss that dude because he was looking to come back to LA, and he was talking to me and my friend Tomer, and I'm really going to miss that guy because as crazy as it was, he never harmed anybody. He just did his thing, and if you didn't believe in him, that's on you. I always commended him that he worked hard at what he believed in. Okay, whether or not it was any good, who knows? That's your interpretation. And he wasn't. Look, being an artist and being in this creative realm, any project he was the best project. Yes, exactly. Pierre, that's very well said. Any project that he was a part of, it was the best. It was literally the best. It could have been his Titanic, and you got to commend him for that because there is a nasty side of everyone's ego in the business here in LA and just acting in general. Art, a lot of people can't handle it. You know how many people probably quit doing their art because they put out something and they got a negative response? A lot. Okay. Now, this is a man that did not give a shit what you said. I mean, people would tell him all the time, post humanously. I don't want to say anything bad, but look, I'm just being honest. But he didn't have a great reputation with people, not because he was mean to him or anything like that. He was an eccentric guy, and that's part of the reason why I really liked him. Is he's just a good dude, and I was looking forward to him. The Tommy Wiseau of China is it's perfect. I mean, he really. When I saw The Disaster Artist, if you haven't seen it, he's the first thing that came to mind. The Tommy Wiseau, he would make shit happen. He would guerrilla film shit. He would do shit, and he would, have you ever seen the movie Bullfinger with Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy? He was that kind of guy. He would guerrilla shoot a movie, and it would come out, and he would find a way, man. He would find a way to do it. I gotta commend him. And Pierre knows this. I always hope one day we can all get together again from Dragon Blade and share a drink, share a meal, and it's just really, really sad. And when I think about it, it really makes me deep down think about I'm gonna miss Drago, and I was lucky to be in his life and have a good friendship with him, but it's really sad, and it's just so unexpected. So all I can say is whatever it is, guys, that you want to do out there, whatever that you think you're afraid of, or you have some type of fear, or you're hesitant about doing. We've heard affirmations from every social media person a long time, Stoics, things like this. Look, I'm no different. Just another affirmation of you should get out, just do it, just get going, because you never know when your day's going to come. It's super sad. The guy really lived his life the way he wanted to do his life, and gonna miss Drago, man. Pierre, I don't know if you're drinking, man, but here's one for Dragster. I'm gonna miss that guy, man. He was a funny guy, man. I'll never forget the Jackie Chan movie. There's like 150 of us on set. Yes, there's like 150 of us swinging swords, throwing shit, running around, fighting each other in the desert. And, it's 9 a.m. That's okay. You can have one for Dragster. And, Drago would find wherever Jackie Chan was. And he would find his way in the shot. He was notorious for finding his way. Like Jack would be battling, and you'd see Drago like peeking in, and then start fighting to make sure he was in the shot. Oh, it was the best. It was the best. Oh man, I'll never forget that. And just so many funny things about this guy. He was just great managing, mugging to the camera. Drago was in every shot. I don't forget, and this is another confirmation I had with Tomer. There was this place in Shanghai, and Pierre will be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but it was called Yongkong Lu. And it was like an older Chinese street. And and it was a beer street. Cheers, Pierre. It was a beer street, and we all go there because they have Western bars, coffee shops, things like this. It would get packed. It would be, on a Sunday afternoon, there'd be 1,000 people in the streets. Love this show, Peter. Thank you, man. Yeah, sorry to ramble on about my friend, but I dearly gonna miss him. I'm dearly going to miss him. I loved him as a friend, and I just want to say how great he was. Yeah, the beer street in Shanghai. So Yong Kong Lu, Drago was great because he did the same thing to my friend Tomer. He got this coffee shop owner. I don't know how he got him to do it, but the guy opens up a coffee shop, right? And for some reason, Drago gets the coffee shop owner to decorate the entire one wall with movie pictures and pictures of Drago. Like he was like Brad Pitt or George Clooney. Like, yes, he's great, Aston. He was a great guy, just eccentric dude. So he gets this coffee shop owner to put all these photos of him and all these Chinese movies and headshots and stuff like this. And then he would call you up and be like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Nah, dude, I'm just hanging out. What's up? You want to come meet me on Yong Kong Lu for a coffee?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come meet you, Drago. No problem." I would call him. He would hang out with the older guy from the Bruce Lee movies. I forget his name. He's the white guy in all the Hong Kong Bruce Lee movies. He would hang out with this guy a lot. And the guy was, I forget. Hey, Carlos Z, thank you, man. All right. So I would go to this coffee shop in Yong Kong Lu and to visit Drago. And he would position himself. Say this is the wall with all his pictures from the movies and the headshots and things like that. And he would position himself like this. And he'd come walking in, he'd have a little cappuccino. He'd be like, "Come here, man, have a seat." And you'd sit down, and like now you'd be facing the wall and talking to Drago, and he would just wait. He would just wait. And if you didn't say anything, because you can't miss it, he had like 10 big pictures of himself from all the different movies on this wall. Absolutely hysterical. Just unbelievable. And I never really said anything to anybody. Maybe my old friend Jimmy is a British guy, big red beard. You may have seen him in Dragon Blade if you have seen photos or whatever that I posted. Really good friend of mine. I think I said it to Jimmy. I was like, "You ever see all those pictures of Drago in the coffee shop?" Yeah, mate. He was laughing his ass off until one day, me and Tomer were hanging out, and Tomer told me the exact same story. Did he call him up, tell him to come have coffee, and just let his wall? Oh, dude, just that kind of guy, just a really good character. It's a shame, I've talked with him on multiple occasions while being here, and the saddest thing about it was that it happened only hours before he had messaged me before he passed, saying, just basically check out my pitch deck for this new television series that he's promoting or trying to get picked up called Flow. And it just sucks because I got it at 4:00 and a few hours later with the time change. Poor Drogs, man. I'm gonna miss you, man. Damn, sucks. I hope life is short, guys. That's what's going on. Let's have a drink. I'll deal with it my own way, but I definitely wanted to take some time to talk a little bit about my friend Drago Lazovic. I hope you're doing good. Rest in peace. And so if you got some friends out there you haven't talked to in a while, whatever, you had some issues or you have problems or you haven't talked to in a while, let's just say that. I encourage you guys, find something in yourself to let bygones be bygones. Don't carry the burden, be the bigger man, whatever you want to call it, but call them up, say hello, say hi to your family that you haven't talked to in a while, because you just never know. Copper Diem, yes, RIP, Dragster. Yeah, we're going to have to do something. I don't know if he's coming back here to LA to be laid to rest. If he does, I'll be sure to be there with Homer, but cheers, man. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Like I said, this is a Just One Beer show. This is what we did is the Young's Double Chocolate Stout. All right. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff going through. my mind, my emotions. So, and I got to be somewhere. So I'm going to end it with this. We're going to go ahead and score. We're going to do the taste right off the cusp. I think this is a good beer. If you have ever tried stouts, this one, it says double chocolate. And I know people might get intimidated by the word double because they think double IPA. Not a super strong beer. It's got a delicious flavor. I definitely like the sweetness and the maltiness. The chocolate isn't overpowering, but you will taste it on the back ends of it. I think it's an overall good beer. I'm going to give it a score of a 3.5 for stout. All right, let's go to price, right? I haven't done this in 2 weeks. I forget already. All right, the price, not bad. I got it for free, but I went and looked it up. Look, for this full bottle, this liter, you're going to pay about $3.49, which isn't that bad. Pierre, you're here. It's about 20 kwai. So it's not a bad beer for what you get. It's delicious. It's tasty. Even though it is only 5.2%, I can feel how it's a little bit stronger. So the price at $3.50, also don't think it's a bad deal. 3.5. All right, let's go to design. All right, it's got the classic British design, which I like. I like when it sticks to the classic look. And when I see this label, I think of like British classic novels. I don't know why. It just looks like something that you'd see. I've yet to be in England or British. Sorry. Hope we can share one soon. Miss you too. Yeah, absolutely, Pierre. Absolutely. I definitely want to get a chance to check out the UK and see all the little small towns. The UK small towns to me look really cool. I like the way this label is colored purple and white. I think it's pretty neat. It gives you all the information back here. It tells you a quick little story. Overall, not a bad label. Don't love it. You know, it's a brown bottle of beer with the sticker slapped on it, so it's not too crafty and too creative. Overall, I'm going to give a score of a 3.0. All right, let's go with popularity, right? Oh, where are we at? Yeah, popularity. Okay, popularity. Look, the thing is, this thing is sold at Whole Foods here in the United States, so that's probably pretty popular. So for that reason being, it's a good beer, it's a well-known company, and it's sold at one of the major supermarkets here nationwide of the United States. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a score of a 3.5 as well. The TMD X Factor, the fact that I got this beer from my Secret Santa, I love that. The fact that I was able to do this show under the circumstances, I love that. And it was a good beer. So overall, stacking all those things together, I'm going to give a score of a 4.0. Thank you again, Ryan Giorgio, for donating this beer to the show. All right, let's total this thing up, and I'll tell you what we got. 7, 10. Okay, not bad at all. So the overall score of today's beer, the Young's Double Chocolate Stout, okay, is a score of a 17. Look at this, old school on the pad, baby. I usually have show notes. I'm doing it on the pad like when I first began. 17.5. I love going back to this old style format. If you guys remember when I used to just go in front of the red curtain, that was pretty fun. But 17.5, not a bad score at all. If you get a chance to check out the Young's Double Chocolate Stout, I definitely suggest trying it. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the show because I do have to be somewhere and I got to be on the road at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to leave you with this. With all this stuff going on with Damar Hamlin, the blizzard in Buffalo, emotional back and forth of leaving, and then, of course, my dear friend Drago Lazovic passing away, I'm going to take the quote that he would always do, in which he built an event in China that I got to say actually was probably his most successful thing and pretty cool. It was a movie night where he would show his films and he brought people in together. And whether or not they were big, small, whatever it was, he brought them together. And I think that's a great thing. And I think that when you look at Damar Hamlin's freakish accident, you look at my friend, you just never know when. And so really don't take it lightly. And like my friend would say all the time, stay in character. And that was the name of his event. It was called Stay in Character. I really enjoyed it. Peace, brother. See you later, Tenacious Freak. See you later, Pierre. To my dear friend, stay in character. I hope you guys are doing good. Have a great week. Thanks for stopping by and enjoying the show. I'm sorry it's one beer. Next week will be a full show. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a good one. I'm Travel Man Dan. And remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it. Bye, guys. Aston, good to see you. Words to live by. I love it. Damien, Aston, great to see you, man. Hopefully, wishing you a happy new year. Good to see everybody. Thank you, guys. See ya.